Everything had thrips. It was awful. I mean, it's not dead. Got one single leaf and is kind of sad, but now it is starting to sprout a little bit. Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma, and today we're gonna carry on the video from last week. So those of you who haven't seen my part 1 of my houseplant tour, go watch that first. I will put it up in the clickable I button here. And so go watch that first so you can see what I keep in my living room kitchen area in my house, all those plants. So go watch that first. But in this video, I'm gonna be doing the other half of my house, which is the spare bedroom slash my flatmate's bedroom slash Joe's office slash it's now become my plant rehab. So we've got the spare bedroom, we've got the bathroom, and then we've got me and Joe's bedroom. And so that is gonna be the rooms I show you in this video. Before I start, you all know the drill. If you like this video, put a thumbs up down below and comment on all the houseplant things you'd like me to talk about and subscribe for more. So let's get into it. So I'm gonna be doing this video vlog style as well because I think that worked pretty well last time. Let's go into the spare room. So this room has one window. It is a northeast facing window. That is really good to give the plants over here like a decent amount of light because they just get kind of medium to low indirect light all day. I know they're a bit far from the window, so they're not getting loads and loads and loads of light, but it's enough to keep them happy and healthy. This room here is kind of like a little plant rehab kind of thing. I keep the plants that have had bugs in here where they can recover and be away from like the majority of my collection because I don't want my entire collection to be affected by pests if I can. So this is where I keep those plants. So let's have a look at them. So first off, we've got the Alocasia poly right here. You can see it's got one leaf. It was struggling for a while, and so I ended up having to cut this bulb off completely. But now it is starting to sprout a little bit, so hopefully that means that it'll get a new leaf sometime soon, so it's not just a single solo leaf. You can see it's not doing the hottest there. But I mean, it's okay. It doesn't have thrips anymore, so that's good. Next up, we have a couple of baby plants that got affected in the thrips outbreak of 2020. Woohoo! Hashtag awful times. They had a bit of a thrips incident, and so they're hanging out in here. You can see the damage there on the orbifolia of kind of where the thrips got to it, and has a bit of scarring in there. And this one here, you can see the thrips got to this leaf, which isn't ideal, but that's okay. The Xanadu, I don't know what's going on with this one. I don't think it's super happy. Looking not very good, so I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. Sansevieria cylindrica that was braided, that is our flatmates, as well as the Ficus elastica back there. And then we've got one of my variegated monsteras, which did have thrips for a little bit, but I think they're all gone since I have used more extreme measures to fight them off. I think they are doing much better now, and I haven't seen any since I used that, so that's really good. And then I have up here, I have my first satin pothos, which is kind of getting a bit funky. I'm not sure what's going on there, but it doesn't have thrips, so that's good. Down here, it skipped a few nodes. This tiny little leaf feels pretty small, so don't know if it's particularly happy or not. And then we have a bit of a failed experiment going on here. I was doing a fertilizer experiment to see which fertilizer worked best, but then the other day I noticed that this one had thrips, and so I feel like the experiment has been a bit contaminated because I don't know if it's dead because of thrips or from something else. You can see they're not looking too hot. Maybe spider plants weren't the right plant choice to do my experiment with, but I think I have to cancel that because they don't look too hot, but they're here because they get even light from this sort of northeast facing window. I have just come down those stairs right there, and we are gonna be going into the bathroom, which is a quite dark little bathroom with one window. So I've kind of been treating this room as the plant ER or A&E. Whenever I see a plant having a massive issue, whether that be super dehydration or it's got thrips, it kind of goes straight into here and goes into the shower. So it can be washed off or watered thoroughly, or sprayed with bug spray or neem oil, or its leaves washed. So basically all of the like intensive processes happen in the bathroom, because then I can just wash all the mess down the bath instead of having it on my fully carpeted flat. Let's go see what's in here. So in this room, I only get a tiny bit of light from this super small window. It's northwest facing, but if I show you outside of it, it doesn't get any light because it's blocked by the house next door. So first off, we have the plants on the sink and toilet. A spider plant right here, which TBH isn't doing too hot. I caught some thrips on it the other day, and so now it lives on the bathroom sink. But I sprayed it with bug spray and it should be fine. We've got my original snake plant doing its thing, and then my really sad looking Alocasia Bambino arrow, which is got one single leaf and is kind of sad. I mean, it's doing okay. I don't think it's growing anything else, but it's just one leaf, and so that's gonna be fine. So here, I've got my windowsill plants. These are kind of the plants that need to get treated quite frequently, and so they stay in the bathroom because then I don't have to carry them down here. So first off, we have some heartleaf philodendron cuttings. These ones had thrips, and so I cut them off. And am I trying to propagate them now? I think so. I don't know if they're doing too well. They've got these like little black roots, so I'm hoping that that means that those are the roots that they're growing. I'm not too sure. And then we've got a Maranta cutting in here, which is doing pretty well. It's got roots coming off of it, so that's good. And then got the philodendron Birkin, which is doing okay. It's getting a bit leggy, but I think that's just because it's in the bathroom and that's not that bright. It's got a new leaf, which is doing okay. It's got a patch of pink on it, which I don't know exactly what's going on there. This one also had pink on it on like this side, so maybe it's reverting. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's doing well, living its life. It also had thrips. Everything had thrips. It was awful. And then we've got lovely philodendron Brazil, which is kind of really sad at the minute. Though it's got some new growth kind of right here and down in there. So it's not dead, it's just not too happy. This leaf is pretty sad. It kind of came sad in the mail. Don't really know what to do about it. And so I've just been dealing with it as it goes. And then we've got a lovely heartleaf philodendron hanging from the shower rail in the bathroom. This one I moved down here because it had thrips, and it kind of became a permanent thing just because I liked how it hung on the curtain rail. So now it just lives in here, which is good. Here it will stay. That's the bathroom plants. So right next to the bathroom, we have Joe and I's bedroom, which again is down those stairs. So up there is my living room and kitchen. It's not the brightest and it's not the warmest. So in the winter, this room gets really cold and dark most of the time. So most of the plants I have in here are ones that I know can handle a little bit wider variety of temperatures and a little bit less light and care, because I don't pay attention to these ones nearly as much as I do the ones upstairs in the living room, just because I don't hang out in here all that much. I mostly use this room for sleeping. First off, we have my massive Ficus elastica Taniki, which is doing pretty well. It's got a few brown spots on its leaves that aren't super duper happy, but I think it's doing okay. I think those brown spots kind of originated from when its soil was a bit too dense, and I recently repotted it, and so now I don't have to worry about that quite as much. This one has recently been putting out some new growth, which is amazing. So I've got 1, 2, 3 new leaves. And then we have my Dracaena White Jewel, which is doing really well. Just hanging out in here, doing its Dracaena thing. Doing fine, not much to say about it. And then we have this side of the dresser, which I've got my like more variegated Monstera, which has huge panels of white, which are actually turning a little bit brown because that's what happens when leaves don't have chlorophyll. I don't remember why I put it down here, but I'll probably move it upstairs in the autumn because it would probably prefer that over winter. And then kind of a rare variety of Sansevieria. I really like this one because it has like solid insides and then stripy outsides, which I liked in contrast with the other kind I have, which has like solid outsides and then stripy inside. And this one's got a little baby in there too, which is really good. So once this gets a bit bigger, I will take it out and give it its own little home. And then the lovely cast iron plant hanging out in its magnificent glory. This little section down here, we've got a little table with my Sansevieria moonshine on it. This one's got a little baby in it too, so I'll probably be taking that out eventually, but you know, it takes time. A very, very dusty ZZ Raven. I probably should give it a good dusting. It kind of leans a bit sometimes, but that's okay. It's just living its life down in the dark zone. We also have a little spider plant, which is looking a little bit anemic. Not really sure why that's happening. And then this little tiny snake plant that Joe and I got on like our second date when we went on a trip to IKEA because we were domestic AF from the beginning. So this one isn't doing too hot. I mean, it's not dead. Like, the roots are still doing its thing, so I'm just gonna keep ignoring it. My Dracaena, if anyone knows what type of Dracaena Draconea this is, let me know. It's doing okay. It's got a bit of browning and yellowing going on here, but I'm pretty sure that's because the soil isn't very good for it. I got it from Morrison's and I don't think they've got the best soil. And then on top of the wardrobe, excuse the mess, this is where we store things, got this snake plant, which lived in Joe's house before he moved to my house, but it's just doing well, hanging out on top of the wardrobe. And then last but not least, we have the plants that hang out over Joe and I's bed, which are 2 golden pothos and an Aglaonema Crete, I believe. These ones I got just to give the bedroom a little bit of color, make it a bit greener. This one has freaking massive leaves. Like, look at that. My whole hand is covered by that leaf. So I really like this one. And I think we're gonna try and make it so they kind of drape along the top of the bed if we can. That's the goal, to make it look really jungly and nice in here. So that's it. That's all of the plants in my entire house. I hope you liked this video. If you liked seeing what I had, please do give the video a thumbs up down below. And if there's any plants that you see in my collection that you would like to know more about or that you'd like me to make a care video about, let me know and I'll do my best to get one of them out for you. If you want to see more videos from me, subscribe down below as well. And if you want to see these plants every freaking day on Instagram, head over to my page. It's @goodgrowing. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye!